Okay, so we just jumping right back into it. We talked about Brandon McManus being the worst person on the earth, sexually assaulting flight attendants in midair when the Jacksonville Jaguars had a game in London. If any of that is true, then yes, he's a horrible person. So that's why we stick allegedly at the end of those sentences so we don't get sued. Yay! Then we talked about Malik Cunningham, how he's being converted to a wide receiver for the Baltimore Ravens, and he's going to compete against their big three to get a final spot. That's dope. Also, we talked about DJ Wagner, him being reunited with Coach Cal. I'm going to go ahead and stay in the NFL. And a question was posed, is Dak Prescott killing Dallas's ability to improve the roster? Now, I don't think so. I personally feel like Dallas is okay. However, Charles McDonald says different in Yahoo Sports. Something in the article I agree with is like Dallas having a quiet offseason, and it's true. I barely heard anything about them getting big free agency acquisitions. Okay, I'll concede on that, but I disagree totally with the whole Green Bay beatdown. They lost that game by 2 scores. The world-famous Dan Quinn defense wasn't worth the paper it was written on, but again, I digress. Because if you go back to that game, Dak threw 4 touchdowns. So there's no beatdown to it. There's no beatdown to it. He couldn't get the defense to stop anybody. Dak made a weird comment at a presser saying, and I quote, "I don't play for money. Never have and never cared, to be honest with you. I would give it up just to play this game. I'll leave that to the business people to say what it's worth and what they're supposed to give a quarterback of my play, a person of my play, and my leader, and my caliber." I don't know if he sounds like that. I can guarantee you he doesn't sound like that. But why would he even say some old weird shit like that? I'll control what I can control, and the rest will take care of itself. Now, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Why would he even say, number one, why would he say that? Okay. Then number 2, it just like, you don't care about the money? Don't lie. You care about the money. That's the only reason that you went pro, to make above the table money, because when you was in college, let's face it, you were getting paid under the table. Everybody was. You're in that era where everybody took money under the table. Now it's just brazen. College football is a lot like Congress. You got the money, they'll do what you want them to do. Oh shit. That's an and not to just hit him over the head constantly, that's an old offer of this diatribe on money. When, like I said, when you go into stuff like that about money, when Sport Track has Dak Prescott as the highest salary cap hit among all players in the league, plus he's in the last year of his contract. So why is he pulling all of that out in the air? And I guess it's to remind them, you're paying for my services. Nothing wrong with that. Just it's again, I don't know why he's doing that. And the cap hit, because a lot of people don't really know what the cap is. And I always said the cap is the funny math in the NFL. Fuzzy as hell. However, he's got a cap hit of $55.5 million. Now, McDonald lays out 2 scenarios that the Cowboys could take. And we'll get into those scenarios when we come back from a quick 20. From an unofficial sponsor of the show, this is Big Vern at App Stupid. Drop the spot. Taco Bell, Live Moss. Download the app, order online, or visit the good people at your local Taco Bell. Try the $5 Cravings box, or you can try the cheesy burritos, the gorditas, the chalupas, and many more delightful items. Taco Bell, Live Moss. So McDonald lays out two scenarios that the Cowboys could take. The first option is to extend Dak Prescott now, locking him in as the quarterback for the foreseeable future and lowering his cap hit this season so they could have been more aggressive in the free agent game. It's not guaranteed they would have been able to get a big time player in free agency with a lower figure for Prescott, but it could have been possible. Inaction has left them with a weaker roster than it had last season. I don't know. I really don't know, because right now, again, it's one of those X factors. Who's going to step up right now? I don't know if the roster is weaker than it is last year. I mean, that's his opinion. If he's a diehard Cowboy fan, I get it, because you want to go ahead and maximize a quarterback of Dak's caliber and stretch out the years. But at some point, you do yourself a disservice, because what if you want to move on from this guy? What if he's able to get a short-term deal and then they go ahead and they put him out there on the market this year? If you give him a short-term deal or you tag him or anything like that, because I think this is the last year of his deal. So you don't even hold those negotiations, those talks. You look at college football, you look at who's coming out, and if you see someone that you want, it could be possible you deal Dak Prescott, you trade him, and then you get pieces, picks, and money as compensation. There's nothing wrong with that at all. The Cowboys, now this is option two. The other path would have been radical. What? But trading Prescott, if they're not sure about him being the quarterback of the future, isn't reasonable. As thought of the experiment, they could have acquired multiple first-round picks for Prescott and would have had the ammo to shape the Cowboys' future as they see fit. Now, this would have huge ramifications, like deciding what to do with stars CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons and their upcoming contract situations. But trading Prescott at least would have had the potential to jumpstart the next era of Dallas football. Unfortunately, the 2024 NFL draft is no longer here, so any picks that the team would get wouldn't even kick in until next season. All signs point to the Cowboys just moving forward without any innovation or creativity as for their cap space is concerned. Okay, so that's a horrible idea. That's a horrible idea, especially in the NFL, because the NFL is a perception league. So because the NFL is a perception league, now you have guys, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, and a new quarterback who's missing his timing. He doesn't get them the ball. Their production numbers drop off. And why I say that this is a perception league, if the wide receivers don't have X amount of catches or yardage, then when they go to the table for their contracts, they get devalued. The devaluation of talent in the NFL and not being treated like a person is a real thing. And it's only been exacerbated through fantasy football, where guys sit here and buy books and listen to people talk about a fake sport that concerns real people and has real ramifications and consequences. And it's just not as simple as Xbox, where you take somebody out and they play with pros and then you put them on 99 and they can make every throw. Some people have a totally different spin on the ball. You have guys that don't have timing, their rhythm isn't in sync. And then when those numbers fall, people start to second guess them as wide receiver options, i.e. Jerry Jeudy. When he left Denver, people was like, oh, you can have him. But I mean, this dude was lights out a year before. He can't throw himself the ball. And then John Elbert Elway did the ingenious thing of trading him to Cleveland for a handful of magic beans. And now he's got Sean Payton running around here trying to make magic happen with magic beans. It's just dumb. And that's the part of football, I think, where the fans need to shut their mouth and know their role. Go pay for your overpriced seats and go overpay for a small Papa John's personal pizza along with these ridiculous prices for a regular Coke or a water when you can get 4 gallons to 5 gallons for what you pay for one bottle. Yeah, that's what they do. They pass the hurt down to the fans. But I really don't think Dallas needed a blockbuster signing. I think that the defensive end will be a lot better now that they got somebody in there who's serious, because Dan Quinn, what he did first round was just lay down. Those guys, he just got outclassed. And Dallas couldn't stop a nosebleed. So I don't think they're in trouble. I think that's just too much. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Dak Prescott having this contract that they can't get around, because they can get around it if they want to. But Dallas, let me know how you feel. This is Big Vernon Ab Stupid. We're coming back.